The harsh beep of a metal detector signaled trouble. A security guard's voice, thick with unfounded authority, barked. "Hold it right there, mister." You set off the alarm. "Empty everything in your pockets. Wallet, keys, phone now." A calm, deep voice, the banker's, cut through the demand. "This is harassment, and I'm late for the Federal Reserve briefing. You don't know who I am." The guard sneered. "I know a thief when I see one. Do it or I cuff you." A sharp, quiet sound of a keypad being used on a secure line followed. Then, the voice of the city's chief of police crackled over the guard's radio. "Unit 34, stand down immediately. You are currently detaining the deputy chairman of the city's Financial Integrity Task Force. His credentials are valid. Arrest the guard and his supervisor now." The sound of a falling metal detector wand was the prelude to the guard's total professional collapse. The setting was a high-traffic entrance lobby of a major corporate office building in the financial district, a building that housed several key investment firms and financial oversight committees. Aaron Cross, a black man in his late 20s, was a highly successful investment banker who also served pro bono as the deputy chairman of the city's Financial Integrity Task Force, a role that required constant, high-level access and discretion. Aaron was rushing back from lunch to attend an urgent meeting with the Federal Reserve liaison. As he stepped through the metal detector, the machine sounded a brief, high-pitched beep, likely caused by his heavy designer belt buckle or a new coin. The confrontation was immediate. The security guard on duty, Walter Denton, a man with a history of unwarranted aggression, often aimed at black professionals in the district, stepped forward, blocking Aaron's path. "Alarm. Stop right there." Walter commanded, puffing up his chest. "Your credentials are no good. You look like you're carrying concealed items. Empty every single thing in your pockets and put it on the table now." The injustice was palpable. Aaron was the victim, silently hurt by the hostile assumption of criminality and the blatant disregard for professional stature. The ominous hint of future reversal was a pristine condition of Aaron's gold and black task force ID, which Walter hadn't even looked at. It was the highest level of non-federal executive branch access in the city. Fresh, unique opening style. Focus on the low-status guard misuse of a technical malfunction to enact racial profiling. Walter Denton was aggressive, enjoying the small, temporary power the metal detector malfunction had given him. He placed a heavy, gloved hand on Aaron's shoulder. "Look, I don't care about your fancy suit, buddy. You set off the alarm." Walter sneered. "Now, I'm going to assume you're carrying a weapon or perhaps some stolen financial instruments. Open your briefcase and empty those pockets. If you cooperate, maybe I don't call the police." The explicit accusation of theft and the attempt to coerce a search without probable cause was a clear act of discrimination. Aaron suffered emotionally. He was acutely aware that this public humiliation, done in a lobby full of his peers, was a deliberate attack on his reputation and credibility. The delay was costing him a crucial meeting that impacted the entire city's financial stability. "Guard Denton, remove your hand from me immediately," Aaron stated, his voice flat with rising corporate anger. "My briefcase contains highly confidential federal documents. My ID badge is clearly visible. Any further delay or attempted search without a warrant will be reported directly to the City Integrity Oversight Committee." Walter laughed, pointing his finger at Aaron's face. "Oversight Committee? Oh, I'm terrified. You're a low-level worker trying to fake your way in. I demand you empty those pockets and step aside. You're clearly trying to hide something." He stepped closer, crowding Aaron physically. Silent strength added instead of physically reacting. Aaron slowly reached into his inner jacket pocket and pulled out his specialized corporate phone. He did not immediately dial. Instead, he deliberately activated the phone's high-sensitivity ambient recorder and placed the device on the small security desk, ensuring Walter's aggressive demands and accusations were being perfectly recorded. This small, non-verbal act of dignity, a silent professional assertion that the true authority, the rule of law, was about to step in, was his quiet promise that he would endure the abuse but would use his network to enforce institutional consequence. The tension surged as Walter, seeing the phone recording, became even more furious. "You're recording me? That's harassment," Walter shouted, reaching for the phone. "That's evidence destruction. You're under security detention." He turned to his supervisor, Supervisor Leo Brooks, who was watching lazily from behind the main desk, fiddling with his own phone. Walter yelled, "Brooks, this guy is resisting and recording. Call the police and get down here." A low-status relative intervened. A cleaning staff member, an older man named Mr. Hector, who had seen Walter's harassment patterns before, coughed loudly and tried to make eye contact with Walter. "Walter, maybe the man is just a little late. Let him go." Supervisor Brooks silenced the low-status intervention without looking up. "Don't bother us, Hector. Walter, if he doesn't empty his pockets, cuff him. We don't need this kind of trouble." Mr. Hector retreated in silence, fearing the loss of his job. Walter smirked, pulling his cuffs off his belt. "You heard the boss, buddy. Let's see what the police find when you're on the ground." However, a high-status character was watching. The building's owner, Mr. Leonard Finch, the CEO of the company leasing the security, was alerted by a discreet text message from Aaron's assistant about the unauthorized detention of a task force member. Mr. Finch accessed the lobby's secure, silent CCTV feed to observe the scene. Owner Leonard Finch started paying attention. Walter advanced on Aaron, holding the cuffs up dramatically. The false accusation was about to become an illegal, physical restraint. Aaron ignored the threat of the cuffs. He picked up the recording phone and, with his thumb, pressed the emergency contact speed dial, which bypassed standard lines and connected directly to the chief of staff of the mayor's office. "Guard Denton, you are detaining the deputy chairman of a mayoral task force," Aaron stated, his voice now cold and formal, speaking to the recorder and the listener on the other end. "The only thing I am hiding is the evidence I have against your supervisor, Leo Brooks, regarding the unauthorized procurement contracts he awarded last month." Walter stopped dead, momentarily stunned by the mention of his corrupt supervisor's illegal business. But Supervisor Brooks, still hiding behind his desk, only heard the threat of the cuffs. "Just cuff him, Walter. He's bluffing." The story now hangs at the moment of peak crisis, with the banker detained, the cuffs ready, and the phone connection established for the immediate political and legal fallout. Just before the shocking reveal, we want to take a quick moment to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the story. Walter lunged forward, grabbing Aaron's arm to apply the cuffs. Aaron spoke 3 final, urgent words into the phone. "Mayor's office. Illegal detention." The 3 words, "Mayor's office. Illegal detention," were the signal that ignited an institutional firestorm far beyond the security guard's comprehension. The chief of staff of the mayor, upon hearing the recorded detention and the name of the corrupt security supervisor, immediately activated a pre-existing investigative warrant against the building's entire security contractor. The immediate effect on guard Walter Denton and supervisor Leo Brooks was instant and total. As Walter struggled to snap the cuffs on Aaron's wrist, the lobby's main PA system crackled to life, overriding the background music. The voice was that of the city's chief of police, authoritative and furious. "Attention! Security contractor $text unit $34. This is an active scene. Guard Walter Denton and supervisor Leo Brooks. You are relieved of duty by order of the mayor's office. You are detained on site for aiding and abetting an ongoing federal investigation into wire fraud and corruption." Walter Denton dropped the handcuffs in shock. Supervisor Brooks finally stumbled out from behind his desk, his face ash gray, realizing the mention of unauthorized procurement contracts was not a bluff, but the truth. The truth revealed was absolute. Aaron Cross, the seemingly vulnerable black professional, was revealed to be a high-ranking, politically protected officer of the law. He hadn't just been a victim of racial profiling. He had been the bait in a sting operation against the building's corrupt security management. The underestimated person was revealed as the key player in a citywide corruption takedown. The wrongdoers went silent, realizing they had attempted to arrest a man whose phone call had executed their entire professional lives. The moment the chief of police's announcement ended, the lobby doors burst open. 2 unmarked police cruisers arrived. followed closely by a black sedan carrying the building's owner, Leonard Finch, and the chief of staff, Aaron Cross, now unaccosted, turned to the stunned security guard. Guard Denton, I am Deputy Chairman Aaron Cross. I did not set off the alarm. The alarm was rigged by your supervisor, Leo Brooks, who was using the security search protocol to intimidate bankers who question his financial irregularities. You just proved the protocol works by aggressively detaining the one person who could expose his corruption. The delivery of instant karma was relentless. The humiliation of Guard Denton was profound. He had willingly participated in a corrupt scheme, and his petty racism had led him to physically attack the man leading the investigation against his own boss. Supervisor Brooks attempted to flee, but he was immediately stopped and cuffed by plainclothes officers who had been waiting nearby. Leonard Finch, the building owner, walked up to Denton, his expression disgusted. Denton, you are fired. You are a liability. But Brooks, you are going to federal prison. You violated your fiduciary duty, and you ordered the false imprisonment of a city official. Your security company's contract is canceled immediately, and your entire operation is under audit. Walter Denton was publicly led away in police custody for aiding a criminal investigation, utterly disgraced in front of the dozens of bankers and professionals he sought to intimidate every day. Aaron Cross watched the scene with the cold satisfaction of a seasoned prosecutor. He felt immense relief not just for himself, but for every other professional and cleaning worker Walter Denton had harassed. He turned to the chief of staff. The recording is on my secure line. It confirms the supervisor's direct order to cuff me and his history of intimidation. This crucial act of professional integrity confirmed that Aaron's true purpose was always the rule of law, not personal vengeance. Aaron's dignity was fully restored by his unassailable legal position. He was not just vindicated. He was the instrumental figure who had cleaned up a pocket of financial corruption affecting the entire building. He then calmly proceeded past the now empty security desk, no longer detained, and headed to his urgent Federal Reserve meeting. Life instantly improved for Aaron. He was safe, validated, and his commitment to integrity had just been proven on a very public stage. Aaron entered the elevator, finally relaxing. His emotional closure came from knowing that his initial frustration and anger had been channeled into an act of legal correction that benefited everyone in the building. Deep reflection, Aaron realized that systemic corruption often relies on low-level abuse, petty harassment, and intimidation to protect high-level fraud. Guard Denton's misplaced prejudice was the final piece of evidence needed to dismantle the entire operation. True power is not a weapon or a badge. It is access to the legal structure that holds the powerful accountable. The simple phone call exposed not just a guard, but the corrupt system he served. The calm ending was the sound of the elevator doors closing, shutting out the chaos in the lobby. Aaron Cross was on his way to his meeting. The disruption now just a resolved footnote in a successful citywide corruption takedown.